I hate it. I hate the new Resident Evil TV show on Netflix. I guess it's not much of a surprise because ever since I heard of the idea, I hated it. But I will say this, right before the launch of the show, reviews were coming out from like IGN and GameSpot and other media outlets, and they were actually giving it pretty positive reviews. So that gave me some hope, some faith in the series. Like, oh my god, maybe the show's actually good. Maybe this is what fans would want. Hopefully that these reviewers were actually honest and not paid off. That's what I'm hoping for. No, 8 episodes, and it's horrible. It's really bad. Now, I do not like the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, and the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City was very disappointing, but this might be the worst one. It might, mostly because it is a TV show. It's 8 long episodes. At least with the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, sure, one of these episodes for the show, maximum is 1 hour, and mostly it's between 45 minutes to 55 minutes. So yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson movie is like 1 hour and 30 minutes. But here's the thing, at least with the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, even though I hate them, at least the pacing of them made it fast. And also by the time it ends, you're like, okay, that's it. But the thing is with this, I just wanted to stop watching every single second. And it kept going on and on and on. And then I reached the end credits and then I'm like, oh my God, there's 7 more episodes of this, 6 more episodes, 5 more episodes. That's how I felt the entire time. Oh my God. And yeah, I was talking to my friends about it, and they're like, you could just stop watching. You know how painful it is. But I was like, I can't. I have to see the whole thing through. Maybe there's something positive. And there is. There is something positive about this TV show. Oh boy. But honestly, here's the thing. I'm thinking about from 2 different perspectives. One perspective as a Resident Evil fan, I fucking hated this. I really fucking hated this. As a fan of like a zombie media, post-apocalypse, I still hated this. I really do. A lot of the characters are bad, especially the main leads. Well, for young Billy and young Jade. Adult Jade, I also have problems with, but I found young Jade incredibly annoying. I do not like her, and every time it cuts back to her, oh my god, I just want her to shut up. And young Billy does have problems too, but she doesn't talk as much as young Jade, so she doesn't piss me off as much. But yeah, she does do some annoying things as well, and it's so hard to connect with these characters, and it's weird that this timeline has to go between the year 2022 and the year 2036. And at times I was like, okay, I don't believe that this young Jade will grow up to be this adult Jade. This young Billy grow up to be this adult Billy. So some shit has to go down between the 14 years between these 2 timelines, but I don't care. I don't want to know about what happens. Okay? This is just bad. And we have to focus so much on these characters. Adult Jade, I at first I was fine with her, played by Ella Blinska. I thought here's the thing. The acting I thought was serviceable. Like most for the most part, I did not think that there's really a bad actor or actress in this. I thought the teenagers who portrayed young Jade and young Billy, I didn't think they were bad. It's just that the writing is bad. And the writing failed adult Jade also, unless I'll get to my problems with her later on. And I'm wondering if the writers actually know about this. Like, this is the intent. That's what they're trying to set up for. But I really do not believe so. Because to me, adult Jade and young Jade are horrible protagonists. Like, you're supposed to root for them, but I really do not. And I feel bad for Ella Blinska because she had Charlie's Angels. A lot of people hated that, but she was actually good in that movie. And now she's the lead character, lead actress for this TV show. And a lot of people don't like this one. Forspoken is going to come out soon, and I really hope that's good. I'm really looking forward to it, and it looks fun. but I'm just hoping that she has something good, you know, because she does have talent. I just wish that she was in actually good projects that people actually like a majority of people would like. I liked the new Charlie's Angels for what it did, but I can understand why a lot of people hated it, you know? So yeah, unfortunately she just played a very horrible character. And I'm just trying to figure out who is this show made for? Because it's obviously not for the fans. It's not. Not fans of the video game. And why is it so fucking hard to make a live action adaptation of Resident Evil and do it right? Don't half-ass it like you did with the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and don't make your own fan fiction like you did with the Paul W.S. Anderson movies and this one. So why is it so fucking hard? It's easy. It's really fucking easy. Resident Evil is not that complex. The first one, if you're doing based on the first game, it's just a spooky mansion with some science experiments going around. You have the STARS members just checking up rooms, and there are some puzzles, there are some traps. They have to survive, conserve ammo, craft materials, all that stuff. A couple boss fights. You want to have like a boss fight with a plant or a shark or the spider or the tyrant, you know, just, it's so fucking simple. You could do a movie, you could do a TV show, you could do it in so much media or even a fucking anime. But how do you fuck this up? Ugh. It's so easy. But I don't know what they keep thinking. They're like, okay, we're listening to the fans. We're listening to the fans. We're gonna add more Resident Evil elements in the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. How we're gonna do that? We're gonna make everyone who isn't Alice a fucking bitch, who's a weakling, who's gonna need help all the time. They can't even defend themselves. So we're just gonna focus on Alice. Oh, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City? Okay, we're gonna be faithful this time. How? We're gonna combine the stories of both Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 and put it in a freaking 100-minute video, but at the same time, we're gonna destroy the characterizations of Leon S. Kennedy and Jill Valentine and Albert Wesker because it's for the fucking fans. And now we have this. Apparently, the fans wanted an original story with the twin daughters of Albert Wesker. And we're going to focus on two different timelines. One set in the 2022 because of the coronavirus. You know, we have to allude to that, you know, woo. And there's the new Raccoon City, which is now in very close to Cape Town in South Africa. But the 2036 timeline, we're going to have that in London. And it's not gonna take advantage of the environment, you know, of the location of London much. We're just gonna show up for like one shot and that's it. Oh my God. Apparently this is what the fans want, you know? The fans really wanted that. These two characters who have nothing to do with the games, basically. They're just original. Ugh. Yes, there are Resident Evil references in this, but I gotta say the biggest problem, and yeah, from now on, spoilers, you already know I hate this, so I do not recommend it. What pissed me off the most is that I honestly thought that this is like another reboot. Like, it has its own history of Resident Evil and all that stuff. Like, whatever happened that led up to the new Raccoon City in the year 2022. And also the disaster that happened, which engulfed the entire world. So zombies are everywhere. And we're gonna focus on the year 2036. But it turns out the games happened in this universe. The events of the games actually happened in this universe. So Arklay Mountains incident, it happened because they showed Lisa Trevor. And they showed a young version. They didn't fully show young Albert Wesker, but they showed Albert Wesker confronting Lisa Trevor. They talk about William Birkin. James Marcus has a daughter in this show. Her name is Evelyn. And she's in control of Umbrella now. And Umbrella's still here. So, yeah, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. Well, technically, they didn't really reference Resident Evil 3, but, you know, the nuking of Raccoon City happened in both Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, but there's nothing that really connects Resident Evil 3 to this besides that. Like, there's no like, nemesis or anything. There are liquors, there are Cerberuses, only one Cerberus, and there's a giant mutant spider. There's a giant like mutant caterpillar, and a giant mutant crocodile. Yep. And yes, there is a tyrant in this. He's not used for anything. He's just a tease. And yeah, you have the zombies, but this time they're called Zeros, and they're more like the running zombies from World War Z. So yeah, um, there's that. And of course, they mentioned the biggest one, that Albert Wesker died in the year 2009. He died in a volcano, which meant Resident Evil 5 actually happened. So now that the history of the games is in this universe, and it's what set it off. Oh yeah, and Ada Wong is mentioned too. So my giant problem with this, because the world went to hell, because they said it's like 3 months until the end, and this was in the 2022 segment, and then we focus on the 2036 segment timeline, and the world's already been in hell for 14 years. You know what that means? And the fact that Umbrella is still going on in the year 2036, and the fact that Umbrella is still going on in the year 2022, that means that Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield, Leon S. Kennedy, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers, Carlos, Sheva, Josh, everyone failed. They failed to stop Umbrella. The world went to hell, and these characters that we know and love failed to stop Umbrella. That's what this TV show is telling me right now. Sure, we had the apocalypse thing in Resident Evil Extinction, and then it went sideways from there, but at least for that, even though I did not like that idea at all, but at least for that, that is Paul W.S. Anderson's fan fiction stuff. But here we have another fan fiction dealing with the post-apocalypse again. But the thing is, the events of the games did not exactly happen in the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, just because he changed it, everything. Here, the games happen, and you're telling me our heroes failed. I hate that. So we have to focus on Billy and Jade. So Jade, okay, the young version of her. I hated her from the very beginning, from the very moment she spoke, when she was bitching so much in the fucking car and on their way to the new house, and she was bitchy towards the caretaker. Sure, the caretaker's a little creepy, like a Stepford Wives kind of vibe, but at the same time, she was being nice. But Jade was being a bitch to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I talk about Zootopia porn." The writers wrote that in Zootopia porn. And also, they have to be hip and cool by talking about Elon Musk and COVID-19 and all that crap. Ugh. And yes, Albert Wesker, played by Lance Reddick, eventually, Billy's in trouble, and she got sent to the principal's office, and there's a meeting with another parent, and Albert Wesker comes in, and he said that I'm gonna make sure that you won't ever get a job. Even Pornhub won't accept your resume. Even though I thought the mention of Pornhub was cringy, but the fact that Lance Reddick said it in a very threatening way, I was actually okay with that. But yeah, we also have an Olive Garden mention later on with unlimited breadsticks and all that. So yeah, I really don't like this. The writing is awful, and young Jade just keeps talking shit, talking shit, talking shit, and I don't like that. And when it showed adult Jade, she at first she was fine. I was fine with her. She was trying to figure out how to solve the whole zombies epidemic, and she was trying to experiment with this rabbit, and she sprayed herself with something. I guess it's like a zombie repellent, but unfortunately, she scratched herself, so the zombies started chasing after her. And at first, it was kind of interesting to see how. This character, she's a researcher. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and it turns out she also has a family. She has a daughter. So at first she was interesting, but later on she keeps making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, which gets people hurt and killed. So I after a while I was like, no, I don't want to focus on her anymore. I just want her to go away. Like she gets one of her best friends killed because of a stupid decision she made. And the writers could have fixed this also. Like, okay, so adult Jade, she was unconscious because of the attack with the caterpillar, and these scavengers figured out who she is, and they know that Umbrella wants her, so they tried to bargain with Umbrella. Umbrella came to their the whole it's the whole base looks like it's from Mad Max mixed with a little Waterworld. So yeah, it reminded me of the beginning of Waterworld when these people are trying to attack the base. So it had that, and there's this guy who looks like Jack Black, but he has like a weird accent. I can't even tell what accent that was. Either it's like a British or Australian. It keeps a. It's weird because sometimes he sounds American, but sometimes it's not. It's weird. I can't tell what accent that is. So Jade is being chased by that guy, and at one point she jumps off the base like a very high part, and she lands on a car, and she manages to keep running. And I was like, "What the fuck? How did she?" I'm so confused because I know they do mention that Albert Wesker, made her, created her, so but the thing is, they didn't explain if she has superhuman strength or something like that, or all they say is that the T virus doesn't really affect them, the same way that it affects other people. That's it. So that's why I'm a little confused. I'm like, how the hell did she survive that fall? Like she jumped off the highest part of the base and landed on top of the car, and she's surrounded by zombies, but they didn't try to get her at that point when she was struggling to get up. No, they were still waiting their turn. So yeah, she managed to outrun them and escape, and then she eventually gets kept, goes through like this slum town, and she's trying to find refuge in like the ferry, but that gets screwed up, and she meets up with a family whose son got infected, and they mentioned that it's been almost 3 days, so he will become a zombie. And then she gets chased by the lickers and also the giant spider. And later she gets captured by Umbrella, which then gets captured by another group of scavengers. And she gets sent to this like prison clan. And then it turns out that there's a zombie with a weird kind of like a lump that sends signals or pheromones or whatever that could make zombies. She can control zombies. So Jade has to chop her head off while this fat Jack Black lookalike was doing the John Wick shit. So he's like shooting everything. And then she eventually gets rescued by her tanker buddies. And here's my giant problem. They specifically said that they haven't seen her for 6 months. 6 months. She was doing the video log with her family, and they said they haven't seen her for 6 months. So for 6 months, she was in London in this freaking tent trying to figure out how to create this zombie repellent or zombie cure or whatever she's doing with like the spray. So yeah, so all shit goes to hell, and then she finally meets up with the people of the university, which is basically a base on a tanker ship. So they found her, they grabbed her. They do not check for bites on her, and the thing is that If it turns out she's immune to the T virus, which she shouldn't be because her sister, Billy, is not immune to the T virus. She was affected by it. So Jade should also be affected by the T virus as well if she gets bitten. But no, they do not check her for bites. They do not quarantine her. They don't put her in another room to sanitize her. She gets on the boat. Here's the thing: she has blood all over her hair, all over her face, all over her clothes. But they just let her on the ship with no quarantine, no not even for sanitary reasons, no, nothing. They just let her walk around the ship. She hugs her daughter while still being in the bloody clothes and still blood all over her. And her boyfriend slash husband accepts that. This university is supposed to be filled with smart people, but they don't do the smart thing and, sanitize Jade at all, Like, she is still walking around the ship with the bloody clothes on and no one checks her for bites or anything. And then she finally takes a shower in her own room. I'm sorry, you have not seen this woman for 6 months. You know that Umbrella is chasing her. You know Umbrella is chasing her. You know that she's been through a lot of shit. You know that it could take up to 3 days for the T virus to start turning people into like zombies or have the humongous side effects. But you don't check her out. You don't, not even for the rest of the people living on the ship. I can't believe these people. They're fucking idiots. Again, unless they actually say, oh no, she's immune. Like Ellie from The Last of Us. Like, it doesn't matter if she gets bitten again, she's immune. You know? If they explain that, but they don't. And here's a giant problem. So, Jade finally meets Billy. Adult Jade finally meets adult Billy. And they said they haven't seen each other for almost a decade or something like that. Um, because Billy joins Umbrella, and at that point, Jade said that, "Oh, my sister's dead. My sister's dead. That's impossible. My sister's dead." Even though the Jack Black character keeps telling her, "Oh, Billy's looking for you. Billy's looking for you. Billy's looking for you," but for some reason, she can't comprehend that, and she keeps saying that, "Oh, I heard my sister's alive. I wish I killed her." You know. So she finally meets up with adult Billy. They're in the Umbrella base. So, um, she has adult Jade has the head, the decapitated head of the zombie that can control other zombies. So, and Billy told adult Jade that Umbrella put a tracking chip inside adult Jade, so Billy pulled it out. So Billy said, "Okay, you could go." So adult Jade is like, "Okay, I'm going." And then she eventually grabs the bag of the decapitated head and then gets off the base with ease. Not once did she think, no, this could be a trap. No, maybe there's something wrong with the zombie head because I didn't see the zombie head ever since they took it away. So maybe they did something with it. No, she did not think that. She's supposed to be smart. And she even said that she doesn't trust her sister. So for a person who says they don't trust their sister, how come you don't have these feelings like this could be a trap? No, this is way too easy. I escaped this place way too easy. Did my sister give the orders to all the other guards? How come the guards aren't at these positions, at these gates? Why is it too easy to get out? Maybe I should check if something is tagging the stupid zombie head. No, she doesn't think that. She does not. So she brought the zombie head on the university. And it's been a couple days because the first day, she takes a shower, she eats dinner with her family, she gets sex, and then the next day, she actually does research on the zombie head. Now, she is dissecting it, she's using a scalpel, she's checking up everything on the zombie head, but she doesn't really check hard enough to see that there's an actual hole in the zombie head that actually has the fucking location chip in it. Like, the whole day spent on all these fucking trials, but she doesn't think to check up the fucking hole in the zombie head. So anyway, while she's doing these trials, she finally figured out with her saliva that the trial actually worked. So her best friend who actually worked with her the entire time on trying to figure out this zombie repellent, he's like, "Okay, I got to get the I gotta get the approval from the other people so we could bring in a zombie so we could test this on them. Like, but first we have to get this approval." Jade knows this, and it's gonna take some time. But what happened? Jade doesn't fucking listen. She doesn't tell anyone. She goes out on her own to grab a zombie and bring it back on the ship without anyone knowing, without telling anyone. She did this for her fucking self. She keeps saying that she's doing it for her family, for her daughter, but no, she's doing it for herself. So she brought the zombie on the ship. What does she do with the zombie? Does she handcuff it? Does she chop off the arms and legs so it has a hard time moving around if it tries to escape? Does she like chain it like with a metal chain to like or isolate it in a room so it's very hard for it to get out, or put it in like a refrigerator or something so it's very hard for it to thaw and move? Something smart. No, she puts like a couple of like those very cheap what do you call it? Um, it's not rope. It's like straps. She just put straps on it on top of this like bar. That's all she did. She doesn't restrain the legs. She only restrained the hands. Now you can make the argument that she was trying to put the straps on it before she got interrupted by her daughter. But no, no, no. She had plenty of time to, put more straps on, because she decided to test the repellent on herself at that point. She doesn't try to make it more secure or anything, especially for the legs. Only for the arms, not the legs. So the zombie senses the daughter and it wants to eat her, so it breaks off the straps, knocks down Jade, and tries to go after the daughter, who leaves the door open, unfortunately, because I don't blame the daughter. She has to survive. She's a little kid. So she's running through the halls, running through the boat, and the zombie was chasing after her, and the first person that the zombie sees and kills is Jade's best friend. I believe her name is Amrita. And she's 2 months pregnant. Amrita's 2 months pregnant. She's dead. Because Jade's a fucking moron. Best friend my ass. When Amrita's husband, boyfriend, was gonna grab a gun and shoot her in the face, I was like, good for you, man. Because Jade deserves that. She didn't tell anyone that she's bringing a zombie on board, and guess what? Her best friend is dead. All for her daughter, even though she's 2 months pregnant. The writers... Here's the thing. What the writers could have done is that, okay, Jade knows that Umbrella's trying to track her, and so she's running out of time. So she's telling everyone, listen, I'm running out of options. Umbrella's trying to get me. I know how to make this serum. I do need a zombie to test this on. So that's why she's rushing. She's rushing, because she knows Umbrella is trying to chase after her. But no, she doesn't know that Umbrella is tracking her. She didn't know. She knew after the zombie killed Amrita. So when Jade sees the Umbrella helicopters overhead, she didn't immediately try to check the zombie head to see if it has a location chip. No, she's just moping and all that. And then she finally figured out that there's a location chip in the zombie head. All this, the people dying, it's all Jade's fault. And here's the kicker. So her daughter talks to Jade, and she tells the daughter, listen, Umbrella are bad people. If anything happens, you have to escape the ship. You have to. There's a backpack underneath the bed. Grab that and leave the ship. With or without my boyfriend slash husband. No matter what, you have to leave the ship. The daughter is so devoted, so dedicated. She listens to her mother. She listens. So while adult Jade is being negotiated for the surrender. So adult Jade meets up with adult Billy, who reveals that she's the head of Umbrella, even though Evelyn Marcus is there, but Evelyn Marcus is being under control. They could have used the spider thing from Resident Evil 5, on her head or something like that. But no, they're like, oh no, it's just joy or something, or some electronic pulses, whatever. Anyway, so adult Billy, is the head of Umbrella right now. So adult Jade, she made a zombie like attractant or something like that. So she threw it on the ground, and I don't know exactly how it works, but I guess it sends like pheromones very quickly, and it attracts every single zombie within miles. So it's like World War Z coming towards the Umbrella base. So adult Jade manages to escape this, and she's back on the ship, and they release their giant mutant alligator to take down Billy and her Umbrella team. So yeah, they released the giant kaiju mutant crocodile on top of Umbrella on land. So now Jade is back on the ship. And then she's just walking around, doing nothing. And then she finally gets to the room and realizes her daughter's not there. She realized the book bag is not under the bed anymore. And she realized that she told her daughter to leave the ship, and that the daughter actually listened to her. Best character ever, right? Jade is such a great character. Her daughter listened to her, and her daughter might die. Because there are zombies in the area and also a giant mutant crocodile. But here's the thing. Apparently, the daughter is okay because the mutant crocodile doesn't want to eat her. Because Jade did experiments on her own daughter. Because they're Weskers. So Billy sees this, and she realized that, you know what? She doesn't need Jade anymore. She just needs her daughter. So she shoots Jade, gives her a gut shot, kidnaps the daughter, and goes away, flies in a helicopter. So, yeah, adult Jade caused this chaos. I mean, her boyfriend slash husband, got his broken, his legs broken because of the mutant crocodile while trying to go after the daughter. So yeah, Jade has fucked up a lot. And I love the fact that adult Billy called her out on it. Like, you don't think that you're the bad guy? You're the reason why people are dead. Your best friend, dead. Your daughter almost got in danger because of you. Like, a lot of people died because of you, because of your decisions. I am so glad that adult Billy called her out on it. And that's why I was kind of hoping, like, maybe it's season 2, it turns out that adult Jade's actually the main villain. Like, she's not someone we're supposed to root for. Like, she's someone that we really want to root against. Like, maybe adult Billy's like the good guy this time around. Maybe that's what I thought the writers were going to try to do, but I highly doubt it. No. I think adult Jade, if they make a season 2, adult Jade is still going to be the hero of the story. But like I said, she's the reason why a lot of people got killed. I mean, if she's a scientist, she should take her time with it and stuff. Unless she knows that Umbrella is trying to track her down and she doesn't have enough time. That's why she's trying to rush. But no, you did not write that part in because she didn't know Umbrella was tracking her. And that's the 2036 stuff. So yeah, there was a mutant caterpillar, which was a pretty cool effect. I'm not going to lie. But it didn't do much, and then it dies. The Lickers, they look pretty cool in the dark hallway, and then that's it. Nothing else with them. It's just that short segment. And then the mutant spider looked kind of cool, I guess, and then just dead. They showed the Chainsaw Man, but he's not a zombie. Yeah, so I was bummed about that. So yeah, the 2036 timeline is like a mixture of Mad Max and Waterworld, but with zombies. But it's not zombies, They're called Zeros this time around, and they're like the World War Z zombies, except that they have boils filled with pus and all that stuff. But honestly, they don't look intimidating. They don't look threatening. Even when they're running at full speed, some of them are doing like the Naruto run also with their arms flailing backwards behind them. Yeah, they're not interesting. They're not scary. So, yeah, it sucks. Now I have to go back to the 2022 timeline, which I gotta say, half of it was interesting because of Albert Wesker and Evelyn Marcus. Okay, so adult Jade, I mean, no, young Jade and young Billy, they're idiots. They go into Umbrella, and Billy wants to release this thing that says "Do not release." This giant cage, this horrifying looking cage, and she hears weird noises coming out of it, but she decides to release it. And it turns out the Cerberus is there, the zombie dog, and he gets out and bites Billy. And Billy doesn't die or immediately turn into a zombie. No, it turns out that the effects would take 3 full days. So we have to see what happens in the next 3 full days. Billy gets hallucinations, and she's bleeding from the eyes, nose, and mouth. And she bites a dude at one point. She bites Evelyn's son Simon at another point, and she knows how to skateboard well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And it just drags on and on and on and on while Jade just keeps not shutting up. And Simon, I don't like either. Simon Marcus, I mean, you have the grandchild of James Marcus in this, and he's really not interesting. So yeah, we have to deal with that shit, the teenage drama shit, with the very cringy dialogue. But then we focus on Albert Wesker and Evelyn Marcus. And honestly, the fact that Albert Wesker is trying to figure out two different things, like he's trying to figure out how to make this drug called joy, actually symptom free, like doesn't turn people into monsters and stuff like that. While Evelyn is trying to save Umbrella because James Marcus was ejected from the board, and Umbrella was in shambles, and Evelyn managed to make it rise from the ashes, and she's trying to keep the company together. So yeah, I was interested in that. And I was interested in Albert Wesker trying to figure out how to save his daughter, trying to find a cure for his daughter, and also trying to figure out how to make joy uh, an actual product that people can use without the side effects of the T virus. So later on, it turns out that Albert Wesker couldn't even find a cure, so it doesn't matter for Billy, and Billy is half okay. Like the T virus does affect her, but it doesn't affect her like turn her into a zombie or anything, or turn her into like Alexia or uh, Helena's sister from Resident Evil 6 into like a creepy naked Spider Woman or something like that. No, it doesn't do that. So yeah, Billy, I guess, is half fine. But like I said, when it's revealed that Albert Wesker is a clone of the Albert Wesker we knew from the games, but it turns out the Albert Wesker we knew from the games, he's actually Lance Reddick. So he's not a Caucasian guy with blonde hair and black sunglasses. No, Albert Wesker in this is Blade. He's Blade. When they showed him, I was laughing my ass off. And you know what? I gotta give them props. Like, okay, yeah, Lance Reddick as Albert Wesker, the OG Albert Wesker, I was actually fine with, he yes, it's weird because of the fake looking hair, and he looks like Blade with the sunglasses and the suit and everything. But other than that, he got the persona of Albert Wesker Honestly, pretty well. Like he kind of sounds like Albert Wesker from the games, like exactly with the dialogue and how he would sound. And the fact that he, at this point, they show like the flashback in the year 2005 in the Arklay Mountains. They show Albert Wesker being tracked down by Umbrella, which is weird because at first I thought Albert Wesker is in control by Umbrella, is controlling Umbrella, but whatever. Anyway, so Umbrella soldiers come in, and Albert Wesker has his super speed, so he just kills everyone and shoots everyone and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I wanted more of that. And honestly, I kind of wanted to see like a flashback between him and Chris Redfield on the volcano, and I do want to see a live action version of Chris Redfield punching the boulder. Seriously, I do want more flashbacks of this version of Albert Wesker because I was interested in that. I was entertained by that, even though, yes, the look is very funny because he looks like Blade. But it turns out, yeah, this Albert Wesker that we know from the games has 3 clones. So they're all named Albert Wesker, but their nicknames are Al, Albie, and Bert. And Bert has like a facial hair and he has like an American accent. So he's like, whoa, bro, chill out, like that. So the fact that Lance Reddick is saying that just made it hilarious. And I was honestly okay with this because it was entertaining. It was amusing. Stupid? Yes. But at least it was entertaining, especially since a lot of this show is so full of fucking boring garbage. So, Bert has the hair. Unfortunately, he has to shave it off because he has to look like, Al. But yeah, Albie dies, so it's just Al and Bert, but they haven't seen each other since the 2005 Arklay Mountains incident dealing with Umbrella. And that's the first time Evelyn Marcus comes in, to reveal herself. And then it's weird because she's still alive in the year 2036, and she looks exactly the same as she did in the year 2005. I mean, Paula Nunes is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, she is beautiful. But I find it weird that from the year 2005 to the year 2036, she looks exactly the same. You could argue maybe it's because of Joy. Maybe it's like, makes them look young the entire time. Or maybe Evelyn Marcus is a clone, but they didn't say anything. But that's the thing, though. In 2005, you see Lance Reddick and Paula Nunes in the year 2005, but they're not de-aged. And then you see them again in the year 2022, but they do not look older. So, yeah, that's the problem. And then you see Evelyn Marcus again in the year 2036, and she doesn't look old. Like, she should have wrinkles, at least. But no, she looks exactly the same. And they don't really give a reason why she does. You can make assumptions, but again, I just wish that they actually explained why she looks like that, especially in 2022 and also 2036. She looks exactly the same as she did in the year 2005. So I guess the Albert Wesker we've been following, the father of Billy and Jade, he dies in the end, I assume, because he was the closest to the fire, closest to the explosion, and he was engulfed by it. But the weird thing is that adult Billy told adult Jade that, oh, father died. So I guess if they do a season 2, it turns out that Al still survived. And yeah, they also mentioned that Bert dies as well. So yeah, that's why it's a little confusing. And the thing about the 2022 timeline, I'm a little confused about it also because in the beginning, when they start moving into the house, it said 3 months till the end. But the thing is that I'm not sure that the entire 2022 timeline for this season 1 show, if there's more seasons, actually took 3 months or it's actually a week. Because from what it felt like and what it looked like, it looked like that the Weskers just moved into the house, and then the children went to school the next day, and that night they went into Umbrella. Billy got bitten by a dog, the zombie dog, and then 3 more days pass. Billy is fine, and then 2 more days pass. Then the Umbrella building explodes. So it seemed like this whole the 2022 timeline that we see in this season 1 of the show. It's only takes 1 week, unless they're saying that's 3 months. Because at the end of the season, at the end of the final episode, we see the tyrant burst out, and I assume that that's when all hell becomes loose, and that becomes the end. Or they're trying to do a season 2, and they're gonna show, okay, so it's like a couple months before the end. That's why I'm a little confused. Like, what exactly is the time frame of this? And there is a couple of Resident Evil references I forgot to mention, especially in the 2036 timeline. The Jack Black character says, "I'm the master of unlocking." That made me hurt so much. They also mentioned the name Barry, but not Barry Burton. But I hated that they keep saying Barry because they said it way too much, and that's not Barry Burton. So that offended me actually. What else? And then in the 2022 timeline, they do show Lisa Trevor the footage, and they do talk about William Birkin, and they also have a puzzle element to this. So it's a scavenger hunt for the girls. So Albert Wesker put like a scavenger hunt, and they have to figure out the clues so they could end up finding a bag so they could try to leave the house, which they don't. They don't ever try to leave at all. They suck. Like, he gave them resources and they still don't do it. They're stupid children. And it's embarrassing because they're like, oh no, we have to try to, not get, not show up in the camera. So we have to be on our stomachs and, go down the floors and all that. By the way, it doesn't even matter in the end. So it's like what I'm seeing is like one of those like made for children kind of segments. Like, oh, there's a scavenger hunt, but we gotta avoid the camera. So it felt like Spy Kids. But the problem is that these children keep saying the word fuck. So that's why I'm weird. That's why it's so weird. I'm like, why are you shooting this and making this feel like Spy Kids when this is intended for mature audiences? So that's why I'm very confused about that. The tone makes no sense for the whole scavenger hunt. So they realize that they have to play the Moonlight Sonata, which is a Resident Evil reference, and they realize one of the keys has like a chip or something like that. Then they go inside the basement and they try to figure out what the hell is going on, and they accidentally set off the trap because they're idiots and they almost got themselves killed. So their father had to rescue them. They're stupid. They're really stupid. And then Bert escapes from Umbrella, and he meets up with the girls, and they go to Olive Garden, of course, and he's like, ooh, unlimited breadsticks. Ugh. And Evelyn Marcus, all the shit she says, bravo. Paula Nunes. Okay, so Lance Reddick and Paula Nunes, they got some sometimes very bad dialogue, but every time they say it, it's like they are really doing their best, like giving it their effort. Like, okay, you want me to say this line as this guy, I'll do it. Oh, you want me to say this line as this character, like this Cruella de Vil-like character, I'll do it. And they actually did their homework and delivered the lines, even though it's bad. So Paula Nunes was chewing the scenery, and it was really entertaining. And here's another problem I have. The fact that this cast is diverse, Like, the main characters are people of color. And also, they have a character who's LGBTQ, who's an actual lesbian. But the problem is, even though usually I would praise, the diversity in like shows and movies, I just wish that I was in a better show, in a better movie. Seriously, it just hurts, Like, unfortunately, these characters, a lot of these characters, especially the main ones, suck. You don't root for them. They're bad. The fact that I root for adult Billy and she's working for Umbrella, she is Umbrella. That's bad. You know? Ugh. It's hot. I'm sweating and I'm complaining about a Netflix TV. And oh my god, okay, the music. The songs are obnoxious. Seriously, they have to have like at least 3 songs per episode, and it just ruins the mood for me. Like you could what's wrong with instrumental music? Seriously, when you have a badass action scene, just have good instrumental music. But no, you have to have some kind of like rap or R&B or something like that. It's not it doesn't fit. Like when the Jack Black character was doing his John Wick thing, instead of having some badass instrumental music, they have to play some I don't know, some R&B stuff. It's just weird. It just doesn't work. So yeah, the songs got really obnoxious. Every time I hear one, I was like, no, it's trying to be artsy, but it fails also. And the only biggest positives I could say, besides Lance Reddick and Paula Nunez, is that the production design looks good. Say what you will about some parts looking cheap, but honestly, they took full advantage of their environments, and even the CGI elements I thought are really well done, especially for something related to Resident Evil. Like, it's the best effects I've seen out of all the Resident Evil movies. So I gotta give it props for that. The Cerberus looks the best in this compared to, you know, the CGI one from even Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. The Lickers look pretty good, but that's all because the visual effects artists know how to handle the lighting, you know? So the visual effects I thought were the best part. Unfortunately, I couldn't appreciate it enough because I hate the show. And the music is bad. The characters are bad. So what can I recommend this show for? It's bad. And like I said, visual effects and production design, I would say would be it's even better than Paul W.S. Anderson movies. But the problem is the episodes drag on for so long. It's just boring. At least the movies just end, you know? I don't know. I don't understand why it's so hard to make a very good live action adaptation of Resident Evil. And if this gets a second season, I really do not want to watch it. I heard an interview that the guy wants to bring in like Lady Dimitrescu and the monster and stuff, and I was like, no, fuck that, fuck that. Okay, fuck that. You fucked up already. I don't want you to get a second chance at this. No, you want a second chance? Reboot this again. Be faithful to the games. If you can't have every single element of it, fine. That's fine. You have to pick and choose, but at least have it focus on the heroes, in the characters that we know and love from the games. Have it be faithful, you know? Just have some good writing. Be faithful. That's it. It's not that fucking hard. It's really not. And that's all I gotta say, guys. I don't recommend the show. Also, another thing. I guess probably I shouldn't have done this. Right before I saw the show, I was binge watching Stranger Things season 4. So maybe that's why I thought this show is crap. That's my fault then. I'm sorry. Oh, why'd you saw why it's like night and day. Stranger Things season 4 was really, really good, and this one is a pile of crap. So I have to say that maybe that's my biggest problem. Like, if I took a break between the two shows, maybe I would like this more, but I highly doubt it. I hate it as a Resident Evil fan. I hate it as a zombie fan. I hate it as a post-apocalyptic fan, you know? Ugh. That's it, guys. If you've seen the show, write down in the comments below what you think of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Later.